What's up, guys? Mike Mac here, Liberty Bell Beekeeper. So, excuse me, today I am at St. Paul's Church in Elkins Park. It's an old church, I don't know, 150 years old or something maybe. But the reason we're out here today is honeybees, of course. And I'll show you what we got going on. So we got this eave that's opened up. Got a downspout that apparently is letting the bees in somewhere. Quite a bit of traffic. This is a daycare as well, and their door is right here, so we got to be, well, the bees have to go because the kids and the church and everything else. So lovely old church. I love old churches. Beautiful windows, all this stained glass and big heavy doors, odd shaped stuff, you know, this kind of windows, just beautiful. So coming upstairs to the music room, and we can see what we got going on here. So here's our colony. It runs approximately 4 feet. It goes down inside the, it goes down and a bit further past the wall and the roof here, but I should be able to reach that without having to open anything else up. Fair bit of new comb, decent bit of old comb, and that's what we did. So initially I made a wider cut that was needed, and once I found out there was another roof joist there, I changed my cut to make it easier to repair. So we're going to get into backing bees up and pulling comb and get these bees out of here. Alright, so I'm going to do something I normally don't do and show you what happens after the cutout. My room here is a bit messy because I'm so freaking busy, but it is what it is. Busy's good. Busy means money. Money means stability. So let's get into doing this here. So, cut out today, St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Have all my brood comb in this tote here. So what I do when I'm cutting this comb is I have a mark on my cutout knife that I really like. It's similar to a bread knife, except it's about 12 inches long and it's a bit thinner. And right where the lettering starts on the blade, not on this blade, but on my cutout blade, I have a little mark. I know where the mark is, to where I cut my combs as close to the size of a deep frame as I can, as long as the comb is deep enough that it'll fit in deep frames. If it's in mediums, I use mediums. So as you can see, my cuts here are pretty close to the size of my deep frames. So I'll take my frame. Now I have a nice countertop here that I built in my extraction room to help do all this type of work. So what I normally do is I have a bucket handy for cut-offs, and I will take my brood comb and I'll lay it out on my countertop here. So let's see if you can see that. Yeah, you can. And I'll take my frame and I'll lay my frame down. And you can see it's pretty close to the size that I need it to be. It's only a little bit of trimming. So I'll push this into the corner of the frame. I'll put my cut against the top rail. And orientation of your comb is important. You got to remember which way this comb came out so you don't put it in upside down and the bees won't use it. So I'll put my frame over top of the piece of comb. I'll make that cut my excess off, drop it in my bucket, and now I'm basically got a nice perfect cut for my frame. And as you can see, it fits in there quite nicely. And this way I can use less rubber bands. As amusing as it is watching the bees take the rubber bands out of the front of the hive, it's still more work for them. So there's my brood comb, 3 rubber bands. That's pretty much ready to go. Sometimes I'll put a horizontal band on there, but In this instance, I don't think I need to do that. Then we'll get our next piece. This is beautiful comb. It's a couple seasons old. Again, I'll put my top of my frame in, butt it in, make my cuts, remove the pieces, and my frame's pretty much ready to go. A couple, 2, 3 rubber bands on it just to hold it in place till the bees attach it. I'll put that up towards the top a little bit. And again, that's pretty good. That's pretty tight in there to begin with. You can make it make that cut a little bit bigger, and it'll fit tightly in there. And sometimes it doesn't even need the rubber bands. This was a nice sized colony, church colony. Honeybees love church. They love it. So I do this stuff. Some people do this while they're doing the cutout work. I do this when I get home because my cutouts, I charge an hourly rate. Because honeybee cutouts are all different. They take different amounts of time, and to me the fairest way to do it is per an hourly rate. That way, you know, there's no surprises. I mean, I try to get close to an estimate. Having done this work for several years now, I got pretty good at estimating my time. It's always really dependent upon how long the colony has been in the space. But again, I charge an hourly rate, so I don't want to be doing this work on the clock for my client. I want to get in there, get the bees removed, and get off my client's time because this service is not cheap. Although I know people that charge much more than I do for inferior work, in my opinion. I find that the hourly rate that I charge is sufficient and fair, so I don't feel badly about asking for what I ask for, mainly because I do all the work. I cut the bees out safely, remove all the comb, seal the space, and I do repair work as well. Being a GC for 25 years, I know how to do pretty much everything from windows, doors, flooring, tile, kitchens, cabinets, everything. All that experience has led me to what I'm doing now, and that's honeybee removals. And I just love doing it. I love the bees, I love the work, I love meeting people, giving them an experience that's positive, although it can be expensive and overwhelming for people. If you go about it correctly with a good work ethic and good customer service, you will find that people are very, very understanding, and they're willing to pay you to do good work. If you do good work, you'll get paid good money. If you try to swindle people, they'll find out. Right now I'm picking up a lot of work because of another guy that does removals in my area. He charges an absurd amount of money. The bigger the lawn, the bigger the house, the more money he charges. And I don't think it's fair. And so far I'm getting a lot of work because he chooses to run his business that way. Now, he can make that money, more power to him. But I will not do business in that fashion. It's just against everything in me to even think about trying to be a dishonest business person. I just won't do it. So some of this is nectar comb. This is all full of nectar. This is mostly drone brood, and I don't generally put this stuff back in the hive, but I'm going to put this in there because they had a lot of honey stored. Excuse me. And I want to give them at least something back. I might pull some honey frames from another box to put them in. So now here's an interesting piece. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about orientation. So this was in the roof line on an angle like this. So I have to keep that when I make these cuts. I have to maintain that angle. So I want to make sure that I have this comb in the proper orientation, so that way I don't lose all this brood. There's a lot of brood in here. And again, I can, as long as I have the proper orientation, I don't feel badly about using this and putting this comb in pieces like this. The bees will work it out, they'll fix it up. Quite a bit of just pieces that I don't think are going to fit. Again, get my rubber bands on there. It's an important part. These I'll probably put some more rubber band on because of this diagonal orientation of the comb. But there you go, and the bees will fill the rest of that in. And you know, you can't always save the comb. Sometimes it's no good. And it doesn't work out for you, but there's so much brood in here, I don't want to lose this brood. So I'm going to cut these attachment points off. Not everybody has a granite countertop for their honeybee business. I was in construction for so long that I come across this kind of thing all the time. These this materials that, you know, usually granite countertops are destroyed because they're so stinking heavy and hard to move and relocate. But fortunately, I have powerful friends that I don't mind exploiting their labor. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Got a few frames left to do. A few good bit of brood left, but I got a little bit of rain coming in, so I'm on a time crunch right now. Again, and there we go. Easy peasy. All right, so that's that, guys. Thanks for watching.